The warrior breathed heavily, his body suddenly seized with pain from almost every muscle.
Where am I? What's going on?
He looked around the room. It was a simple dwelling, worse for wear, but well looked after in its own way. He rubbed his eyes, searching for memories. He could remember stars and bright energy. He remembered a sound, like a church bell tolling, but nothing before, not even a name.
What happened? Who am I?
The warrior looked at his hands.
A child's hands? Not possible.
He leaped to his feet and then cried out in pain. Every part of his body protested. Lances of agony shot through him. His head pounded like it had been split by the gods themselves, and his arms and legs barely responded to his commands. With great effort, he hobbled over to a mirror. He gazed at himself in the black obsidian surface. Even with no memories, the warrior was shocked to see the face of a 12-year-old boy staring back at him. His head, torso, arm, and leg were all bandaged.
By the heavens, what did this kid do to receive such a pummeling?
Lightning flashed, and an image appeared before his eyes. For no more than a moment, it was a face, a leering face, bringing a wooden sword down on his head.
Clay. Jason Clay.
Another lancing pain nearly knocked the warrior off his feet. He clutched the wall for support.
I need to heal, and heal quickly, if I am to figure out what in the Aeonian universe is happening to me.
He limped away from the mirror, back to the cot where he first awoke. He stumbled, nearly tripping over an object. He looked down at it. It was a wooden training sword, broken. The warrior ignored the toy and lay back down, groaning. Confusion and pain clouded his mind, and though he had no memories, he felt distinctly out of place in this child's body. As he drifted off into a fitful slumber, that same sentiment echoed through his brain.
Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?
The warrior's eyes fluttered open. Blurry daylight illuminated the room. He blinked and his vision focused. The warrior immediately recoiled, seeing 3 people standing over him. It was a teenage girl and 2 older men. The girl reached out to him.
Nathan, it is all well. You are home.
Her accent threw him, but he somehow managed to comprehend her words. He looked around. The girl had kind blue eyes. They were red around the edges. She must have been crying for a long time. Of the 2 men, one had jet black hair and a beard, both streaked with gray. He smiled, seemingly relieved. Like the girl, his eyes were bloodshot. The third man was shorter, with a curled mustache and a bald spot on his graying head. All 3 were drenched.
They must have run through the thunderstorm.
He opened his mouth and found it parched. He croaked out the first word that sprung to his mind.
Water.
Immediately, the girl leapt to a pitcher, and she poured him a tankard. She handed it to him. His hands shook as he took the mug. Hazy notions floated into his mind.
Thank you, sister.
She smiled at him.
Thank you, my brother, for living.
The balding man chirped up.
Thank him? Thank Asura. It is sure that he would have perished without the heavens' aid.
The tall man placed his hand on the balding man, silencing him.
You gave us quite a fright there, son.
Nathan downed the mug of water, the fresh liquid reviving the parched desert of his tongue. Once he had emptied the cup, he talked again.
What happened?
The balding man shook his head.
It is usual. So many strikes to the pate will dull the senses. Here, lad, lie thyself down, and let me examine thee.
Reluctantly, the warrior lay back as the balding man unwrapped his bandages. The girl, his sister, took the warrior's hand. She was warm to the touch.
You died, Nathan. Those wounds were too much for you to bear.
The warrior's mind reeled with a flood of new memories.
The duel. Baylor. Jason. Breaking my bones.
In his mind's eye, the warrior watched a duel from the eyes of the young man, a boy flailing his wooden sword at a bully. All the while, the stronger kid thrashed him to pieces. The tall man laughed heartily.
And yet, here you live. It shows it takes more than one death to slay a Hayfield.
Amelia smiled, more out of relief than mirth. Though the warrior didn't get the jest, he chuckled along with it. The balding man looked up from Nathan's wounded body.
I cry your mercy. I did not introduce myself. Sir Yara Shira, healer from the town over. I doubt you would remember me, as I last saw you when your mother birthed you. Dear Priscilla, I miss her so.
A shadow seemed to fall over the house. The tall man averted his eyes, and the sister nodded somberly. Foggy memories drifted through the warrior's mind.
Mother, what happened to you?
But the moment of grief vanished almost as soon as it had occurred. The balding man turned again to the father and the sister.
I will need some hours to work on him. He has several broken bones and is likely concussed.
The warrior sighed. It seemed his quest for answers was to start slowly.
Would it be at all possible, Sir Yara, for me to eat something? I'm famished.
For the rest of the day, Sir Yara tended to the warrior's wounds. The patient closed his eyes and meditated, hoping it would conjure more remnants of his past life than just a vague sense that he was a stranger in this young kid's body. But every time he returned from meditation, he came back with a new memory from the boy's life, not from his own. He remembered his father's name, Sir Ulrich Hayfield. He remembered his sister, Amelia. He remembered that they lived in Dunshire, a hamlet in the fiefdom of Godric's Land, which, in turn, belonged to the kingdom of Calandria. Beyond that, he could not tell. It seemed his 12-year-old brain was not well read in geography. But most vividly of all, he remembered the duel, the battle that killed Nathan Hayfield. Around Nathan and Sir Yara, Amelia and Sir Ulrich meandered. Visitors came by. One after the other, Sir Ulrich dismissed almost all of them out of hand. When Amelia asked him why, the knight simply responded, "We have no need of gossip spreading whilst Nathan is still recovering." Throughout the day, Amelia was constantly at his side. She fed him soup. She talked to him about all sorts of local gossip that confused the warrior more than it enlightened him. When they didn't talk, she swept and tidied up the house. It seemed like she was afraid that if she left the room, her brother would perish again.
Should I tell her that her brother is already lost?
When night finally fell, Amelia drifted off to sleep on a chair alongside the warrior's cot. But the warrior himself could not sleep. With new memories surfacing every minute, his mind raced. He heard a floorboard creak. He looked up, and descending from the stairs was Sir Ulrich, wearing a traveling cloak. The warrior shut his eyes, hoping to avoid the knight's gaze. After a moment, he heard the door open and close.
Where could Sir Ulrich be traveling at this time of night?
Cautiously, carefully, and not without pain, the warrior stood and picked up the broken training sword. It would not do much for defense, but it was better than nothing. And he followed Sir Ulrich into the night. The summer night in Dunshire was surprisingly warm. The warrior followed his father's body out of the township's limits and into the woods. He kept to the trees, sneaking low to the ground with surprising ease.
It seems my soul is used to pain, even if my body is not.
Eventually, Sir Ulrich stopped at a clearing. The warrior hid in the underbrush and watched. Two hooded figures approached. One was tall and spindly, the other squat and muscled. Ulrich bowed. It seemed to be a gesture of respect rather than submission.
Arturius Spellwright and Grimgor Raven.
The two removed their hoods. They did not return their bows. Sir Ulrich continued the conference.
Why summon me to the middle of the forest at night?
The taller man spoke. The warrior assumed that this was Arturius.
Why, out of respect for the family, of course. We heard your boy was on the point of death after an unfortunate accident with Jason Clay.
Ulrich addressed the squat man, Grimgor Raven. I presume you heard this from the horse's mouth? It is well known the Clay family are the Raven's bedfellows.
Grimgor grunted. No need to be indelicate about bedfellows, Ulrich. You need not be jealous because we have friends, and you Hayfields are alone on this pathetic plot of piss.
If the insult offended Sir Ulrich, Nathan couldn't tell. Arturius Spellwright cut his companion off and continued.
We come with an offer from the Lord High Raven.
The air seemed to tense at the name. The warrior searched his memories. His 12-year-old host could not recall any specific facts about the Lord High Raven, other than a creeping dread.
Oh, do you? And why does not the great Remus Raven come speak himself?
Grimgor grunted.
Oh, come now, Ulrich. You know you're not so important to be given his time.
Arturius wandered toward the edge of the clearing, so close to the hedge that the warrior poured into it.
Nathan Hayfield, wherever you are, I dedicate my life to thee.
The new Nathan Hayfield went back to his home to plan his next move, leaving his wooden sword protruding from the earth. In generations to come, many monuments would be dedicated to Nathan Hayfield, but there would only ever be one dedicated to that 12-year-old child slain by Jason Clay. It remained a broken training sword stuck in the ground outside Dunshire.